I understand you're grooming with Allen Robinson. Just what are you learning from him? What are you trying to pick up from him?
So far, not much. Just really the veteran play. You see what I mean? So far, not much. We trying to go to sleep, get some rest, and wake up the next day. But like when it comes on the field, just certain routes, certain ways that he runs routes, timing. For sure, I'll talk to A-Rob about that.
George, you got the first target of the first team period yesterday. What does that mean? Is that a hint, hey, maybe you're going to be involved more in the offense this year?
I just feel like that's more of an explosive hint. Like we're going to probably take more shots this year, try to mix it up a little bit.
Is that something you guys talked about, something that this offense needs?
Really just like a change. You see what I mean? We didn't really like talk about it much because the same plays are the same plays. But like as far as where we're going with the ball, huge change, yeah.
Kenny talked about a more balanced offense. How do you find that balance this early in camp?
I feel like that's true. I feel like it's going to be way more balanced than it was last year, just based off, like I said, where the ball going, where we feeding it, the type of plays. We done mixed up the plays, different blocking schemes. So I feel like this year will be way more balanced than last year.
After last season, and you had time to reflect, where would you like to see yourself grow in year two?
Just really, I'd probably say rack, run after catch. And that's basically based off the opportunities I get on short routes. You see what I mean? Not nothing deep unless I break a tackle on a deep ball. But I'll just probably say rack.
Yeah, speaking of the short routes, how much do you imagine your route tree will evolve over time here now that you're more established?
I feel like it'll evolve a lot. And what's crazy is I already feel like myself personally, I can already run every route. It's just like when you see a tall receiver, you see what I mean? So like I feel like I can run every route already. It's just putting me in more opportunity to get there.
What kind of energy are you seeing from Kenny early on? I mean, does he have a different kind of attitude coming into camp this year? Is there a change that you've noticed?
Composure. Like with QBs, that's like the biggest thing. Like a lot of people, like last year, he still works extremely hard now, but last year it was more for working hard because he's learning and working. You see what I mean? But now, since you know everything, it's more about being relaxed and making the right reads.
George, Deontay was telling us yesterday, you guys have competitions against each other. One makes a play the other. How much does that happen, and how much does that push you?
That pushed me a lot. That's kind of like how I was raised anyway. Like, if he make a play, now I'm ready to make a one-hand catch. You see what I mean? Just up it. And that's only going to make you better. So, like, I feel like that's the best way to do it.
What's it like being back in the locker room with Darnell and Broderick, and how much fun are you three looking forward to having this year?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Those two specifically, I'm glad we got those two because those are like two of the guys I used to hang around a lot at UGA. And just guiding them through. I know they're young, so they got to do the mandatory rookie stuff. So just guiding them through and letting them, don't fall asleep in the booth. Just little stuff like that.
What kind of a weapon is Darnell Washington, and what can like a maximum effort Darnell Washington give you?
I can't even explain. Maximum Darnell Washington is probably the greatest tight end in the NFL. I'm just say that. Just off of size, hands, and the stuff that he can do. Now learning plays, all the mental stuff, that's just come on Darnell time. But like, as far as physicality and his ability, bro.
Is it second camp for you any different from the first rep, obviously?
Yeah, mine is it's a little different in a way of kind of like KP's way. I was just working extremely hard. KP had a little bit of both, learning and working. But I was just working extremely hard just to try to prove myself off of the ACL injury. That was like the biggest thing in training camp, that I wanted to show the coaches that I was okay and then I was doing good, and then the rest is history.
What do you showed this year?
This year I just probably show helping guys. That's really a lot what I've been doing lately. You guys know I really don't talk much. I just let my play do the talking. But this year I've been trying to, guys like Calvin that was out, guys that's gonna make it more explosive. Hakeem, just telling guys, this what you want to do, this how you want to run it. He's gonna probably break if you try to take too many steps. You see, just certain stuff.
Are you the kind of guy that sets concrete goals for yourself, yards, touchdowns, Pro Bowl, stuff like that?
Yeah, just me personally. I can't really, I ain't throwing it to myself. But like me personally, yeah, for sure. I write those goals down all the time.
Did you write down any
Kenny
yet?
Pickett in terms of just ball distribution? You guys got a lot of
Wait,
mouths.
what'd you say?
Kenny's ball distribution. You're going to have a lot of mouths to feed. Is that something you think about just in terms of if you want to accomplish personal goals, the ball might be spread?
Yeah, I mean, that'll help the Super Bowl goal. That's one of my personal ones. And distributing the ball around, that'll fulfill that one. And one thing I know about getting to the Super Bowl, it's going to those goals that are aligned with the Super Bowl are going to come as well. So, like, with Kenny distributing the ball, I feel like that's going to make everybody better, happy. You see what I mean? Like, it's just going to be a funner offense, I feel like, because we got more weapons.
What goals have you written down so far?
How beneficial is it to have a guy like Allen Robinson to be your roommate?
Just he was a veteran, 10 years. So, like, it's my second year. So I can just soak up everything that he's telling me from a veteran standpoint.
George, you said you've written down goals. What goals have you written down so far?
I written down these goals like in the summer, like Pro Bowl, Super Bowl, 1,000 yards, most receptions, just kind of the stuff I had in college actually. But just trying to exceed those goals, yeah. I
know Broderick Jones, one of your old teammates, he showed up to camp in an Uber a couple days ago. Is that like a signature Broderick move? Is that surprising to see that?
Yeah, Broderick is like us at Georgia, we're kind of like, I don't want to say we already in the NFL, but our facility, we got an $80 million facility. We already kind of know what's going on, so that's just kind of like the Georgia way, I say. Just pulling up in, fashion, style.
George, what you've seen from the offense, when you guys are talking about how attainable are the goals that you set?
I feel like they super attainable, just off like the coaching. I can just feel it. I don't really gotta like last year I was so busy learning and working, I wasn't able to feel everybody's energy. But this year I just feel like everybody gonna come together.
Beyond picking things up from Allen, how much do you take repping against a guy like Patrick Peterson? These moments with going one-on-one.
A lot. I used to watch. Patrick Peterson used to be my favorite player. You probably don't even know that.
I didn't know that.
But he used to be my favorite player, and I played offense the whole time. But just going against him is probably just gonna enlighten me to make a guy like me. I'm like, I used to watch you. I gotta make plays. Like, you see what I mean? So for me, it's just gonna be an edge to make more plays.
He seems like a guy who's really eager to help the young players on this team, give you tips after a rep. Have you seen that from him already?
Yeah, I seen that him and A-Rob got the same kind of. You see what I mean? Because they've been here for 10 years. There's no reason to. Oh no, I want you to do that. Everything is just help.
George, how did Pat react when you told him that, hey, when I was little, I used to?
Nah, my fault. I actually had. I told him that, and he was like, "Man, you gonna make me feel old." People gonna say that, but I actually got a picture. Like, I'll have to pull it up, but I got an old picture when I was LSU versus Alabama. He clamped up Julio, and I was there, bro. I took a picture with him and shit, but I was little, so.
How much did you have a chance to, hang out with Kenny outside of football? Outside of OTAs and stuff like that over this offseason?
It's been really good. Miami, we threw in Miami a lot. I was just in Kenny room last night, so me and Kenny have always been, and we got drafted together. You see what I mean? So
few more guys.
Me and him are it's more like a second nature type of stuff. You know what I mean? We joke, we laugh. We so cool when we talk about football, for real.
George, everybody's talking about this year 1 to year 2 progression for you and for Kenny. With that, how important is it for you guys to be able to be there for each other and help each other through that natural progression into your second year in this league?
The most one. That's probably the biggest thing out of all the questions, because that's the most important thing, is just making him feel comfortable and making me feel comfortable, making Tay feel comfortable, making everybody, offensive coordinator, everybody. And with that, it's just communication. When you out there in the field and it just feel like you throwing to an ego, you see what I mean? Or you feel like he's just throwing to a number, then that's not, sometimes you're going to get tip pigs, tip balls, but if you know the guy and you're making him feel comfortable, he's like, oh, this is my friend.
When you talk about that comfortability, do you get a sense that Matt is more comfortable with a lot of you guys back this year, and that like Allen in this mix too?
Yeah. I feel like all the coaches, to be honest, are more comfortable just because it is year 2, and you do got a quarterback who already knows the plays. You do got receivers who already know the plays. According to last year, everything was on the run. So I feel like literally every coach around here is feeling a much uplifting.
You're a player you're a player who has a lot of hype going from year 1 to year 2. How do you handle that? Do you let that motivate you? Do you try to block that out? How do you deal with them?
I just let it motivate me, because I ain't gonna lie, since a kid I always been like a guy who had all the looks and stuff like that, but I just keep working. I always say that because that's what it's gonna bring. But me personally, I don't really let it get to me. You feel me? I just keep playing.
All right, thanks, George.
So how's camp going so far?
Going well. It feels good to be out there. It feels good to be, much improved from, physically where I was at in the spring. So just continuing to stack blocks and get better every day.
Health good for you?
Yeah, feeling good.
How comfortable are you right now? You've had a couple months with this offense and with the guys.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good. Again, I never like to, say things are too comfortable. I feel like in any situation, you never want to be too comfortable, But at the same time, being able to learn my teammates, being able to learn their playbook, being able to get familiarity with the coaches and things like that, it's a good feeling.
A lot of the younger receivers coming up to you and helping guys like George Pickens out?
Yeah, definitely. Again, as much knowledge as I can give, across the board, that's on the field, off the field, just talking to guys, that's, across the board, not just receivers, that's skill position, O-lineman, by having a vet and having some experience, about being a vet and having some experience, you're able to give a lot of knowledge to younger guys.
Al, just being the first slot guy mean anything to you?
Well, again, I'm just trying to come in here, do what I need to do, make plays, find my role in the offense and things like that.
Is that the position you like? Is that where you want to be?
I'm comfortable playing inside or outside, but again, I played a lot of inside in my career, so I've done both, So again, like I said before, for me, it's just about bringing value to this team, bringing value to this offense.
You had a chance to work with some of these guys, specifically Kenny Pickett, away from the Steelers headquarters. What do you like about him? What have you learned about him? And how do you guys gel together right now?
Yeah, obviously, he's very skilled, but, like I said before, for me, it's about, seeing the maturity of a second-year guy, seeing the command that a guy has, and being able to get us, play in and play out, having the confidence coming into the huddle, getting us right, making sure everybody's where they need to be and things like that. For a second-year guy, he's head and shoulders, over a lot.
Is that surprising that a second-year guy is kind of running the show out there? We've seen it before, but kind of commanding attention and details from everyone.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm surprised. Again, from what I've saw from Kenny, from afar, even when he was at Pitt, he's been a winner, and you can kind of tell in his demeanor and in his mannerisms, that's the kind of leadership and stuff that he has, So coming in, I wasn't surprised at all.
Alan, there's not a lot of guys in the league that have double-digit number under the years' experience, either on the team or in the NFL. What has gotten you this far?
I think diligence, in my work ethic, and in my day-to-day work, being able to every time I step on the field, trying to get things accomplished. That's practice, that's game, whatever it may be, and that's taking what I do very seriously. So for me, again, each and every day, it's about getting better. It's about finding ways that I can improve myself, finding ways that I can help this team improve.
Alan, Kenny was talking about the offense finding its balance entering this season. In your experience, finding that out early in training camp as opposed to maybe later in training camp, how has that benefited an offense going forward?
Whenever you can kind of get in the groove and find things early, I think that's always beneficial, because you start to get the ball rolling early. Guys are able to figure themselves out, guys are able to figure others out, and just kind of see, what works and what works best, So, again, I feel like for us, as an offense, we had a solid first day. I thought for us it was for the most part clean, which is what you want to see, coming into training camp, is things being clean, guys being where they need to be, and things like that. As you continue to progress through camp, you continue to improve and you continue to stack those blocks.
In what ways do you feel you complement Deontay and George, and how do you figure your skill set kind of works along with theirs?
Yeah, I feel like we all have a little bit different playing styles, all a little bit different size and things like that, So I feel like for us, we complement each other, very well. Tay is super quick, George is a bigger dude, who can do a little bit of everything, and same with myself, being able to play inside, being able to play outside, So again, for us, I think with our different skill sets, we have some similarities, but we also have differences that complement each other.
How much did you have an opportunity to work individually with Kenny? Did you have sessions where it was just the two of you guys working?
Yeah. I got a chance to work with Kenny right after OTAs. Again, just being able to get out on the field, and to be able to kind of piggyback on some of the things from OTAs, conceptually, just talking through different concepts of, how he would like things to be, where I need to be at, and different things like that, So we definitely got a chance to do that.
You've been in the league for a little bit, but what kind of jump can a quarterback make that you can see as a receiver from year one to year two?
Yeah. I think across the board, I think guys have a big jump, from year one to year two. Just being able to, your first year in NFL, you're taking a lot in, as far as, playbook wise, adapting to the game, learning yourself a little bit as well, So in year two, you kind of have, some familiarity with certain things that you've done well, certain things that you need to improve upon, and different things like that. And you're also able to put, yourself and put people in situations going into that second year for you to improve upon those things that you want to. So, for a lot of guys, that year one to year two, typically is a big jump for guys.
Alan, this is another training camp for you. You've had several other ones. How does this experience for you compare to St. Vincent?
It's been cool. Again, for me, being in Chicago, I had experience of, having camp away at a college, so being able to kind of, reflect on that a little bit, coming here, I was able to do that, but again, man, training camp, for me, I always try to keep the main thing, which is, coming here to work, figuring out things that I want to get better and get accomplished, in that period, before the season, and being able to kind of take note of those things on a day-to-day basis, and continue to evaluate myself, as far as, things that I'm liking, things that I'm not liking, and how I can, improve upon those things and find ways to complement those things that I need to get better.
Are you ahead of where you thought you would be or hope to be physically right now?
I would say so. Again, when you're going through an injury process, especially something like a foot, it's a lot that kind of goes into it, but for me, from the time that I got here, being able to do my rehab and staying focused on that, from the time that I spent away, after OTAs, again, staying 100% locked into that and, continue to improve myself, I like where I'm at, again, I'm not exactly where I want to be at or satisfied where I'm at, but again, being able to improve each and every day, that's what I'm planning to do, and I've been able to see that, over the past 6 weeks and even the 6 weeks before that, so I'm gonna continue to do that.
You didn't have to begin the year on the pup list or anything like that.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, coming off of OTAs, I had felt pretty good, so I didn't think that would be the case. But again, it's kind of two parts to an injury. One is being healed, and then one is getting back to yourself, and that's being able to get reps, at certain things, being able to get, and then also evaluate yourself, in those reps to figure out, like I said before, what you need to get better, whether that's repetition that needs to improve that, if that's stuff in the weight room that needs to complement that, or how you go about those things to get better.
In OTAs, you said you thought you had enough time to get caught up before you got here, so you felt you did that?
Yeah. I have a pretty good training team around me, when I go into the off season, so I spent a ton of time with those guys, like I said before, continue to evaluate things that I want to get better and how I can, continue to improve and, continue to improve upon my explosiveness and things like that coming off an injury. Like I said before, it's kind of two parts to it. Once you're healed, now you have to get back to yourself, and that's being able to create different angles with your body and things like that that may limit you as you're going through the recovery process or certain limitations that an injury has, brought to you.
Alan, I know you're suite mates with George Pickens, and obviously, you help him out on the field, but what kind of extra mentorship happens in the dorms when you guys can kind of live near each other like this for a couple weeks?
Yeah, a lot. Again, like I said before, you get an understanding and get to know guys a little bit more, as far as, off-season things and different things like that, and just conversations come up, again, for me, having a good amount of experience in this league, I'm always talking to guys about, many different things, guys talk to you about financial things, guys talk to you about on-the-field things, guys talk to you about, off-season regimens, guys talk about, how you able to, stay in the league and stay, consistent how long you have it. So it's many different conversations that happens, and for myself, I enjoy it, when I first came into the NFL, we didn't have too many vets. When I came into the NFL, we started 3 rookies that year and then 3 second-year players my second year, So being able to kind of, think about where I was at, from year 1 to year 2 and as a younger player and kind of what knowledge would I have liked to seek and things that I would have liked to hear at that standpoint, So just always trying to, do that and staying encouraging to the guys.
Do you ask to have him as a suite mate, or is that an assignment?
No, it was something that just kind of came up, but again, for me, it's many different aspects, when you're playing in this league, that go a long way, not just, on the field, but also, being a good teammate, and that can be done in various different ways. And that's being able to give guys, things to be aware of mentally, that's to be able to help guys out, with things that they want to get accomplished with their body, whether that's training-wise, tape-wise, so there's many different things, and again, I've been blessed to be going into my 10th training camp, so, I give as much as I can back to the game because the game has been very good to me.
Alan, you don't think there was any small coincidence that they put the promising second-year receiver with the veteran receiver?
No, I don't think so. Like I said before, man, for me, one of my best years in my career was my second year, so I have, I can definitely relate to that, and being able to reflect on that, is pretty cool seeing a guy who has so much talent. Again, I remember when I was in my second year kind of coming into training camp, again, and finding my way, as a person who had talent, but then being able to untap, and it was a good feeling, so I want to help not only myself and our receiver room, reach the amount of, talent that we have.
We had talked in the spring, and you said you felt like a dog on a leash. You wanted to get out there, but there was a conservative approach taken because of your injury. Is the leash off?
Yeah, no, it's full go, full crank. Let's get rolling.
And were you the first guy out there yesterday?
One of them.
By design, or
just like I said, I was excited to get out there, bro.
Give me a recap of day one. How'd it go? How'd it feel?
Felt good. You know, getting back in the swing of things. It's been a while since I played some ball, so it felt awesome to get back out there and be playing ball again.
Do you have a clear idea at this point the role they have envisioned for you?
Yeah, I feel confident with the coaches, their plan and everything they got. So I'm just going to do whatever they need me to do.
Is that 3-down guy, green dot guy?
Yeah, you know, everything.
Was there any trepidation at all that first day out there, you know, after not doing much?
No. I mean, it was like riding a bike. Like, you know, there were a couple plays I was a little too amped and got a little tunnel vision, but you know, everything else was good.
With you and Landon, you guys are obviously new to this team and could be seeing a lot of time at that position. What's been your relationship like with him in there, and how's it grown to this point?
Oh, me and E-Rob are super tight, good friends. You know, rooming together. So, you know, we're getting real close.
How do you feel like you complement his style versus yours?
I mean, I feel like we both, you know, have our strengths, have our weaknesses, you know, so we both complement each other very well.
Since you're a little amped up, I guess you can't wait for pads on Tuesday.
Oh yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Is there a temptation to try to make an impression since you're on a new team, or do you just play your game and let it come to you?
There is, but you gotta just play your game. You know, you go out there and do what you do, and that will come.
I know it's still just football and shorts, but how do you feel physically coming back and just doing a little bit more than you did in the spring?
It felt good, man. Like I said, it was awesome getting back out there.
Is there anything that's different about just getting in those reps that you didn't have in minicamp or OTAs that you kind of can't really come back to until you do it, or?
I mean, during OTAs, you know, I made sure to like get those mental reps. You know, my path to get here was a lot of mental reps, so you know, I was able to take that and put it to the field yesterday.
Was that difficult to be patient for that long?
Yeah. No, I'm a very impatient person, so I wanted to get out there.
The different interactions with Tomlin too, getting a full practice under your belt. Was he on you any more than he was in the spring?
I mean, it was just, you know, coaching who's on the rep, so it was nice getting coached, you know, being able to get coached, being the one on the rep.